Hello, everybody here on YouTube. Hi, welcome. Can everybody hear me okay? I have my earbuds in tonight. I may take them out. I'm not sure if I like them or not. Okay. So some of our usuals are here. Dreaming Truth author is here. Hello. Rita H says hello. I'm not closing my binder until I conquer this dreaded chapter. Oh my gosh. What makes it so dreaded, Rita? What's the dreaded part of the draft for you, or this chapter? Dreaming Truth author says, you got this. Hello. Hey, Jen's here. Hello, Jen. Welcome. Jen, you and I keep missing each other in live streams. I popped into yours yesterday, but I was super busy doing some other stuff. So I just opened it up so that I would be on your view count. And then I had to go do other things, but I was there. You and I keep missing each other. Oh my goodness. Yes, we are all here. Hello, Jessica. Hi, Jessica. Hello. You sound good. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I guess I should have looked for that comment first, shouldn't I? Oh my goodness. So, how is everybody doing today? What are we working on this evening? Jen says we are playing Stream Catch Up. Yes, I am also playing YouTube Catch Up. I haven't finished watching all of your videos yet, Jen, from the last few weeks, but I am slowly working through them. We enjoyed a weekend trip. Just my husband and I. We had my mom and my dad kept our toddler, the 3-year-old. So they had Finn for the weekend. And we went off a couple cities over and did our own little sort of like a vacation, just the two of us. We do this every single year. Just take a weekender about this time because our anniversary is June 16th. My birthday's the 17th, and then there's Father's Day. So we just kind of take the whole weekend to celebrate. It's really fun. And so I'm slowly getting caught up on everything as I've gotten back onto like a more normal schedule. All right. Jessica says, just going to lurk for the sprints tonight. That sounds lovely. It's nice to take a trip every so often. Yes, we try to do about one a season, just the two of us, and we never go very far. We keep it pretty cheap, get like a hotel for the night, and just kind of, I don't know, float around and figure out what we do during the day. We don't ever really go with big plans. So that's nice. Just time to slow down and enjoy ourselves. And that is exactly what we did. Rita says, I had it written and revised a few times, and then yesterday decided to switch POV to the other female. She had been in a magical coma, for a few days. So it's a little like writing a new chapter and blending in the words already written. Holy moly. Yeah, that is a shift. That's one of those, when you switch POV, that's one of those where the story doesn't typically change, although sometimes details do because of who is speaking. But when you change POV, that is a lot of rewriting. Hopefully it won't be too difficult to rewrite. It's just changing perspectives. But yeah, hopefully it won't be too bad. Dreaming Truth author says, I am going to set an intention tonight. Since I have not written anything today, I have also not written anything today. I am going for 300 this stream. Oh, that's not so bad. I think you can do 300. I need to jot down my word count. Speaking of, so I told you guys tonight I am working on Angel's book. I already have a title picked out for his book, although I'm not 100% sure if that will end up being the official title, so I'm not going to share it yet. But I do like the title. I am sitting at 37 pages. That is 9,995 words. Let me note that down real quick. I like to keep track of my word count as I go through these sprints. The challenge of like lengthening it every time is exciting to me. So I like to see how far I can get each sprint. But I think 300 you could do. I hope I can do 300 too. Jen says, today I'm working on a little luck, trying to decide if I should do the copy editing of part 2 or dive into story edits of part 3. Holy moly. I actually don't really have an outline for this book. So I am just doing a lot of it on feel. I have an idea where I'm going from here tonight, what I want to finish writing for the night. I do have an idea where we're going, but we shall see. We shall see. Happy birthday. Yes, thank you. Yesterday was my birthday. I am 29 years old, and I am officially, as of like this last year, I'm starting to feel my age a little bit. Not that that's old at all. That is not old. But my knees have told me this year, and so is my back, that I am no longer 20. So, could, everybody grows older, but we all learn as we get older too. So I have learned a lot, especially this year. I have learned a whole lot. Rita H says, now have under 700 words left. Woo! That's great. 700 words to go. Jen says, I missed it. Happy birthday. Yay! Thank you. Thank you, guys. You guys are so nice. So let's see. We talked about what we are working on and a little bit about the first sprints. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, to my YouTube, Amy Prokopis. We go live every single Sunday. I also try to post a vlog every Sunday, and I post usually a bookish related fun video on Wednesdays. I already have next week's video planned out. Next week on Wednesday, our video will be about how I manage my anxiety and ADHD and how that works into my day-to-day life as a school counselor and an author. So holy moly, it's a lot to juggle. Sometimes I forget how much I'm juggling, and I have to remind myself to be kind to myself, because it is not easy keeping on track and on task. That's why I have so many notes and so many different planning systems. Sometimes, holy moly, I have like 3 different planners that I use. I use digital, physical, and then one that's kind of a combo. Holy moly, sometimes I forget all of the tasks that I set myself to until I'm looking them straight in the face. So if any of that sounds interesting, make sure to subscribe here on YouTube. That video will be coming Wednesday. And I also have plans maybe this week even. Yeah, maybe Thursday, actually. I'm not for sure exactly yet. I'm still talking out the details, but I think I might do a pop-up live stream here on YouTube, and I think it may be a longer one. What I would really like to do, maybe for July, since July is Camp NaNoWriMo, I would really like to do a 10K day. I've never done one of those. And I think it would be fun to have the live stream to do that, so that anyone else working on Camp NaNoWriMo stuff in July has somewhere to go and work with somebody else doing Camp NaNoWriMo stuff. So I might host a 10K day in July here on my YouTube channel. So we will see. Never know. That may happen. But if you haven't already, subscribe. There's also a lot of fun links in that link tree down below. I just posted this before I hit live here, actually. I just posted a book funnel so you can get Guardians of the Sixth Gate, which is the first book in my trilogy that's still going. The trilogy will come to an end in the fall, but you can get book 1 completely free when you sign up for my email list there through BookFunnel. It'll send you the ebook, which is super cool. That's a new thing that I am trying out. I've never used BookFunnel from the author side anyway, but you could get a free ebook if you sign up through that. So click the link, check it out. Pretty cool. It's down there in the description box. You can get a free ebook. Yeah, leave me a review. Tell me what you think. That would be wonderful. So first sprint of the night. If you are brand new, which none of you are here on YouTube, I think, we do 3 sprints on these Sunday night live streams. We do 3. They're all 20 minutes in length, which means we will work. I'll be writing for 20 minutes. I'm going to see how far I can get in my draft. And then we chat for a little bit. So that is what we do. Before we get started, because I did this once before on a live stream and I kind of liked having the accountability there, I am going to post that I am starting sprint, oopsie, help if I spell it right. Sprint number 1 at 9,995 words. Let's see how far I can get in 20 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to post that in the chat. It says, I am starting sprint number 1 at 9,995 words. Let's see how far I can get in 20 minutes. So it is there. See how far we can get. Sprint time. Yes. All right. So I have timer up. I made my note of where I'm starting. Let's get ready to go. All right, friends. Sprint number 1 starts in 3, 2, 1. Sprint. Hello, friends. Oh my gosh. Okay. I got kind of sucked into that scene. So if you are just joining, I am writing my next book, which is Angel Ramirez's book. He is a character from Shade of the Shadowlands, which is book 2 in the Guardians of the Six Gate series. He's getting his own steamy romance that will come out in 2024. And that is what I'm currently writing. So I started this sprint, the 20-minute sprint, at 9,995 words. I am now at 10,387. So pretty pleased with our first sprint. So that is where I will pick up here in a second. So what is everybody reading right now? I am up on the hype and I am listening to the Audible version of The Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros because, of course, the hardback, that really pretty one with the sprayed edges, is unavailable basically everywhere. When we were on our mini weekender celebrating my birthday and anniversary this week, I went specifically into a Target just to see if maybe I could get lucky, and nope, no luck. It was sold out in the Target as well. So no Fourth Wing for me. I ordered it on Amazon though. It said it would come like July 5th, maybe. So I have a while. By that point, I will have already blazed through the audiobook because I'm almost done with it now. But I am really enjoying it. I was excited and curious because I also have a dragon book planned for 2024 that I've loosely outlined. And I wanted to see how other people were doing it, especially since this book has taken off. And I really like it so far. It is not similar at all to the dragon book I have planned. So that was like a pleasant surprise, but I'm liking it so far. So what is everybody else in the chat here on YouTube saying? Dreaming Truth Author says, I almost reached my goal. I got interrupted by a phone call, wrote 268 words. That's pretty good for a first sprint. Thank you so much. Rita H says, I'm trying to get through Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. Ooh, I have not read that one. I've read the A Court of Thorn and Roses series. I've read all of that. I also did the Audible version of that series, and I also had to go and buy the really pretty, I had to buy the newer version, the paperbacks that are all like those different colors, those really vibrant ones. I got that. And I've wanted to come back to some of her other series, but they're so long, so I haven't done that yet. Jen says, I managed to comb through my betas comments on part 2 and made notes on things I need to think about as I look back over it. I added 111 words. That's pretty good. Beta feedback. See, that is about where I am with Winter Witches, which is my Christmas romance. It's not really a Christmas romance. It is a Christmas, it's based around Christmas time, but they're witches, so they're really celebrating winter solstice. They're not really celebrating Christmas exactly. They do, but the book centers around the winter solstice ball, and it is a fake dating romance. So it was super fun. It's much more of a romance and then fantasy, whereas most of the books I typically write are fantasy and romance. So really like that. Ooh, Dreaming Truth Author is reading Save the Cat Writes a Novel. I've never read that one, but people on YouTube swear by that method. Rita says, I prefer that series. This book's so different and so long and almost drawn out. The Sarah J. Maas book, I'm assuming? Yes. They're all very long, aren't they? I was poking around on like TikTok, here on TikTok especially, and I got some other comments there that I thought would be kind of fun to intersperse in the stream just to bring it all full circle. Darcy says, I got the Kindle version. Thank you so much, Darcy. And, oh, you got the Kindle version of The Fourth Wing. I almost did that, but I prefer the physical books, and I listen to audiobooks when I'm doing things around the house. It helps me to get things finished, tasks finished, if I listen to something to keep my brain engaged, because that kind of those kinds of tasks like putting up laundry and things are not very interesting for my mind, and so I tend to zone out. I also listen to the books when I go on my runs, and since I run distance, I will run for a really long time, and so it's nice to have audiobooks because it keeps me engaged while I'm doing repetitive tasks, basically. So I thought about the Kindle version too, but I really want that really pretty book with the sprayed edges. So it's coming to me eventually. I cannot pronounce it. I'm so sorry. You have already come to Brazil. Which country are you from? I've not been to Brazil. I actually work with a student who's from Brazil. That was interesting. At my school. That was kind of fun to listen to his stories. I am in the US. I'm actually in the Midwest, here in the United States. That's where I am from. I haven't done too much travel, but most of it's been the US. I have this random piece of hair here that doesn't quite fit in my ponytail. I also don't have any clips to pull it up out of the way. Maybe I can somehow manage to get it pulled up, but that was a TikTok comment asking where I am from. I'm from the Midwest. I'm almost, not quite, but I'm pretty center of the United States, actually. Most things, I'm pretty in the middle here in Oklahoma. Jen says, I have Fourth Wing on hold from my library. I'm like 56th in line. I bet you are. I didn't even look at our library because I figured I would be quite a ways behind. And since I do audiobooks, I figured I could just do the audiobook. Because I know I'm not going to love the writing from things I've heard, but I'm too curious not to read it. So far, I do like the writing. It's very, I'm not very far into it. I'm only a couple chapters in, but I have noticed her writing style is very, it reminds me, it's very much dialogue focused. Like she writes things out the way people would say them, not so much in like out in the writing outside of dialogue, but it's stylistically very conversational, if that makes any sense. It's not like it's very obvious it's from her perspective because everything has that kind of inner monologue sound to it. None of it's just different, especially because I know this is more of a new adult romance. There is quite a bit of language throughout, but the writing style reminds me quite a bit of a young adult book. So it's interesting. Yes, that's very interesting. Let's see. Finished our first sprint, talked about what we are all reading. I wish I was reading more. It took me so long because I spent the first part of this month reading Winter Witches, which is that winter romance. And then I had to read through Mistress of Shadows, which is the final book in the Guardians of the Six Gate trilogy. The book I'm writing tonight, Angel's book. Angel is from this trilogy. He's from book 2, but he's only in book 2. So I won't give too much away if you haven't read it, but he is a vampire. And so we follow his romance and the vampire side of the Guardians world, that supernatural side in his book. So you don't have to read the Guardians of the Six Gate trilogy to read his book. So if you want a book that's more romance than fantasy, Angel's book is for you. Jen says, yeah, that's why I didn't want to spend money on it. I get that. I wasn't entirely sure if I would love it enough to bring it onto my shelves. Who knows, though? I understand that. So far, and I could kind of tell this is a book that I would like, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on my shelves. Even though there's so many other things on my TBR list that got put on the back burner because of this book, but we will get to it. We will get to everything on that list very, very soon, hopefully. So, second sprint of the night, it is 9:02. Don't forget to hit the like button on the stream, or here, you guys that were over on TikTok, like the video if this is fun, interesting. I haven't done too much on TikTok during these streams, but for fun, I decided that I would try that out. Jen says the TBR ever grows. Yes, it does. That is what I really like about reading and writing books, is that there will always be books out there and there will always be new ideas to write books out there. So there's never a shortage of material or things to write and read. So always an adventure. That's what I like about it. But yes, the TBR is ever growing, and sometimes it gets overwhelming if I let it get too long. So I'm going to have to get back to some of the things waiting on that list in a bit. I have quite a few that have been on there a really long time, like Shadow and Bone has been on there quite a while. All right, let's get, oops, that's the wrong view. Timer up. We are going to go for another 20-minute sprint here. What is everybody listening to? Do you guys listen to music? I think we mention this every time we do a live stream. I always have mood music going. I usually collect a playlist of things to fit the vibe of the book I'm writing. So what I have right now is very moody. A lot of this is a little clubby because part of the opening of Angel's book takes place going out to a club in New York City. So some of the first of this playlist I've collected is music with like a lot of reverb or slowed down songs that, especially on TikTok, are really popular, that I collected that fit the mood of that. So what about everybody else? I know some people can't write with sound at all. Dreaming Truth author says, at what point do you get an author copy of your book to do a read through? Early in the editing phase or right before publishing? So when I do my read through, that is like the very first of editing for me. After I've written the book, the first draft, I try to let it sit for a while because I want to forget it as much as I can. And then I do what I call my read through, where I literally try to read it in as close to one sitting as I can, and I make notes in the margins. I used to print it and then write all over the draft from Word, but now I upload it to Google Docs. So I have like in part for copy right now. That way I have the original version and I make the comments in the comments on Google Docs. And then I transfer those comments later to the official Word document, and I fix it and then upload again to Google Doc, just so I have like a running tab of the drafts. So I don't usually order author copies until really close to publishing. I'll order an author copy when I have finished all of my editing, and then I go through it one more time, mostly to look for formatting issues. But sometimes as I'm going through, I find editing issues also, because reading it in that book format is just so different visually than what I'd been editing on that sometimes it's easier to catch those. But usually I don't do that author copy version until right before. I hope that answers the question. I don't order an author copy until right before I hit publish. Jen says, I'm listening to the Spotify official Noah, is that Kahan playlist? I don't think I'm familiar with Noah. Rita says, I've got Viking music at the moment. That is something that's intermixed in my playlist for the Dragon book, is some like Viking-esque music. I like that stuff. Love YouTube music, either at the Celtic or, yep, that's what I listen to. That's Viking Celtic stuff a little bit for more of my fantasy-esque worlds, where the world truly is completely new and made up. I listen to a lot of stuff like Norse music. Jen says, I have a YouTube video on my TV of something playing through a video game for background noise. Sometimes I do things like that just for the background. Lisa M says, hi, I'm new here. Hello, Lisa. Welcome. What are you working on tonight? If you're not working on anything, that is perfectly fine. I'm just happy to have the company. Rita says, it's going to be amazing to hold my own copy of my novel. That is truly surreal. I love that. Ordering the author copy is really fun because it is a finished book, but you can still fix it. So it's not like it's truly published and out there, but it feels like it for you. It is an exclusive edition also. Nobody else gets the author copy unless you send them out as like ARCs and such. So I do love getting the author copies. That's a really fun moment. Noah's a fave, definitely recommend. pronounced like Kahn. I wondered about that. Because in German, last names similar to that would be Kahn, so I wondered about that. But it doesn't look like it's a German name. It's interesting. Okay. We should probably get on to our second sprint of the night. So another 20 minutes. We already have our timer up here on YouTube on our clock. We're going to go round 2, 20 minutes. I am starting sprint number 2 at 10,387 words. Shall I put that in the comments? Starting sprint number 2 at 10,387 words. Let's go. Lisa says, I don't know if anything. I am burnt out from doing the Storyteller's Hearth weekend relay. Oh, that is a long one. Those are really fun, though. It ended this evening. Did not sleep last night, but I need to prep a spreadsheet. Woo! Well, maybe you'll get rejuvenated. Just kind of sitting back and relaxing, enjoying some of the company in the chat with some of our other amazing friends here. I also need to eat dinner, which is probably what I will do. Hey, gotta take care of yourself. No shame in that. Alrighty. So I've got my count up 20 minutes on the clock. So let's gear up and get ready for round 2. 3, 2, 1, sprint. Alrighty. So, for sprint number 2, started at 10,387 words, got to 10,826. I got a little bit distracted with this one. I got kind of pulled into, I had to pull myself out for a minute and look at things as like a whole. So that threw me off a little bit, but still got quite a bit of writing done. I will probably stay up a little late to work tonight because I don't have any plans in the morning. Tomorrow is Juneteenth, by the way. If you do not know what Juneteenth is, go look it up. There's a very interesting history to that context. But tomorrow is Juneteenth, which means it's like a national holiday here in the US. I believe banks and things. Oh no, I just thought about that. I was going to call the bank tomorrow. Can't call the bank tomorrow. So I'm going to be spending quite a bit of tomorrow doing things around the house and hopefully writing some more. This book is coming along really nicely. I'm in the middle of like it's not quite the inciting incident. It's definitely not. That's already happened, but it's a point where the main character gets pulled deeper into the story and the plot can actually start to take off. So that's really fun. I'm in the middle of writing that. And so things are going well for me. So, how has everybody else done? Lisa says, I also tend to get second wind. Hopefully, need to take my night pills in 20-ish minutes. So that's a goal for the stream too. You are live for like 2 hours, right? We usually go from 8:20 to usually we're finished up by 10. Most of the times 10 a night. So about. All right. Is 10K for the day. I wish. Holy moly. I am thinking, if you missed that early in the stream, I am really thinking about planning a 10K live stream sometime in July because that is Camp NaNoWriMo. I will probably be working on the same book. And so I would really like to finish draft 1 at the end of July also. I'm getting a whole lot done this summer. But that is what I'm planning to work on for Camp NaNoWriMo. So I have the idea to plan a 10K live stream day. I wish this was a 10K day. Holy moly. So far, this is the first I've written all of today. I've been doing other things. So I wish. Jen says, I forgot tomorrow was the 19th. Yes, man, not January. It's not January. It's June. June has just flown by for me. Dreaming Truth Author says, wrote 402 words. Rita H says, I finished that chapter and I think I am happy with it for now. That is great. I know you said at the beginning of the stream you were struggling and you were not looking forward to it. So I am excited for you. Tomorrow will be the start of the next chapter and back to their trek through the woods in search of the stranger. Ooh, that sounds intriguing. Jen is working through chapter 12, have added 450 words in total this stream. Wow, mostly line editing. Woo, line editing is tedious. My gosh. This whole year has flown. I completely agree, Jen. It really has. I am blown away by how much writing I have done because I still work full time. Writing is not what I do full time. I wish, but I feel like I have gotten so much done. And I really think it's because now that I have just published my 3rd book, I've kind of got the process figured out. And now I can feel where everything is supposed to fall in that process. And I know how I work best when I'm drafting. And so it just goes quicker for me now than it used to. And every single time I publish it goes quicker. So I am amazed at the last 6 months, I think about 6 months, because I've been able to draft out and plan out a whole lot while still working full time. It's amazing. I really don't know how I do it. But I do. So I really say if you want something bad enough, you figure out how to make it happen. It has to be something along those lines because I don't know how else I would do all of this, but it's happening. All right. So we are about about 1,000 words in for the night, I think. That's pretty good. It's pretty normal for a live stream for me. Getting about that many in. Jen says I'm doing a slightly different tactic with the second draft, in quotes, because who knows what draft this is. That's why when people ask me what draft I'm in, I am never 100% sure because I don't keep track of them that way. I'm always working on it. Don't really know what draft I'm on either. I am working in parts. That makes sense for the book you're writing because your series it's written in parts like that, isn't it? The whole thing you're planning to. So it makes sense for you to work that way. So if that's working for you, that's great. It definitely makes sense with that story structure. First, doing a story edit, then going back in and doing a line edit of that part to see how it goes. Since I'm closer to that specific start of the story, I think that would make sense if things are done in parts because while they all are, when you write a book with parts in it like that, while they all go together cohesively, they do function kind of in their own timeline within themselves. And so it would make sense to polish them off separately that way. So makes sense to me. Hopefully that's working for you. That is like definitely something to consider when you're an author or when people ask for author advice. It definitely depends on what you're writing and the specific book, even just what the book's about or like the structure like that. The structure makes a big difference too. Because the way I tackle some of my projects is very different than others. Like Winter Witches, I tackled a little different than any of my other books because it's much lighter. It's the fantasy in it is the secondary plot. It is not the main plot. They are all witches, yes, but that is not what the plot hinges on so much. It's just a detail of it. It's just the fun of it. It's just supposed to add a little like not romance. It's supposed to add a little like quirkiness to the whole story and to the romance. And so I didn't have to worry about those details. I didn't have to outline as much. It wasn't as serious of a plot line. And so I didn't have to do a lot of prepping and planning to write that book. I could just dive in and honestly just like see where it took me. And then when it came to editing, it was the same thing. I didn't have to do much editing because it was already down to the story and like consistency and stuff was already there because there wasn't that many details to keep track of. Whereas in like a fantasy or science fiction book, you have to keep track of like the lore and the rules within that society if it's an entirely different setting or a made up fantasy world. So it's much easier to write that book. So writing that kind of a book, my advice would be very different than if you're writing a fantasy or something with a lot more details in it. So it's funny. Jen says, yes, that was my thought process too when it came to writing with the book having parts in it. I think it makes sense to me. We'll see if I can keep it up like this until the end. That is a lot, especially if you've never written it that way. So you're having to like train yourself to do it that way. That's definitely like a whole different element. Rita says it's crazy how some writers keep track of the times that they have drafted or revised a chapter. I tend to look at years, not times. Yes. I definitely do not keep track of how many drafts of a book I have. I went back through one of the folders for one of my projects in Google Drive. Like I said, after I make a big edit to the whole thing, I've been uploading the draft to Google Drive just to store that version of it from the Word document. So I was going back through and I realized I had like 4 different versions of it. And I thought, really, were there 4 or 5 drafts of this book? But I guess maybe there were. I don't keep track of it. I really don't keep track of it like that, though. I don't know. That would drive me insane. That would almost be too tedious to me. That would be a little bit of a hindrance to the process for me, I think. Jen says, with the second story, I did traditional drafts, starting fresh each edit. But this one, I'm just mushing it all in, trying to wrestle the story together. I think that's okay. It really is just whatever works for that particular book that you're writing. Number of times, yes, I agree. Jen says, I've always for sure have a first draft or as I call it more often, a fast draft. That's what I call them too. They're really just the story. I heard it. I heard it put. Who was it? Sarah Labrat? I think she said it's just like putting sand in a sandbox. It's not pretty. It's a mess, and it's just sand everywhere. But it's in the sandbox, and then from there you can actually use it to make castles. And that was the most beautiful way I've ever heard it put. The first draft of a book really is just putting the sand in the sandbox. From there you can use it, but you have to have it in there first. So that is my favorite analogy for fast drafting and for first drafts. They're never going to be pretty. They're not. They just aren't. But it's you putting all the pieces and elements down. Dream Truth. I love that. So do I. That was not a quote from me. That's Sarah Labrat on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it's Labrat. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. She's mostly a science fiction author, but she's just gone full time. She also does some freelancing. I think she does video editing and maybe book editing also. She's pretty great. She's based out of Utah, I think, and her YouTube channel is really fun. She also does daily vlogs, kind of like what I do, detailing her process. Sand in the sandbox. Yep, that's what it is. Sand in the sandbox. Yep, saving that one forever. That was hers, not mine. So, third sprint is making sure to subscribe to my newsletter at amyprokopis.com. I said it early in the sprint, but if you click the link, it is a link tree in the description box. One of the first links there, it has to do with my newsletter. If you sign up to be part of my newsletter, then BookFunnel automatically will send you Guardians of the Sixth Gate, the ebook, which is the very first book in my fantasy romance trilogy. So you get it for free, and then you could continue the series if you want. Book 2 just came out. Book 3, I've just finished editing, and I'm tinkering with it still before it goes to my editor, but that'll come out in the fall. I've officially picked my release dates for Mistress of Shadows and for Winter Witches. I know the dates for both of those. I'm announcing the date for Mistress of Shadows, the publication date. I am officially announcing that on all of my social media accounts on next Sunday. So make sure that you subscribe here on YouTube, that you follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram, because those are the places that you will see those announcements. You will see them first, however, through the newsletter on my website and also on TikTok and Instagram. So make sure that you're a part of those, and you might as well subscribe to the newsletter, because if you do that, not only will you get that information first, but you also get that free ebook. So go check that out. I just posted that before we went live here, so pretty new information. So last sprint, I am starting at 10,826 words. Let's go. I am starting. I'm going to put that in the chat at 10,826 words. So that'll be, or not that, this will be the final sprint of the night, our last 20-minute writing sprints. And then I will probably stay up myself to write a little bit. I don't know. I might be live a little bit longer on TikTok to do that, because it's a little easier to do. It's a lot more informal on TikTok to do lives. So I might write for like maybe another 20 or 30 minutes on TikTok. So those of you on YouTube, when we finish up here, if you still want to stay up and work on a few things, I might be there to continue our live and chat, or maybe not, I'm not sure. But for YouTube, our regular scheduled Sunday night stream, we always do 3 rounds of 20-minute sprints. Be on the lookout for a pop-up sprint this week, though. I have planned 2 writing days this week. And by writing days, I mean that I am taking Finn, my toddler, to my parents' house for the day. So it'll just be me. And that's a whole lot easier to write. And it is especially a whole lot easier to go live. So maybe I'll be able to have a 10K day sooner than I think. I don't know. That would be really fun. So be on the lookout. Again, make sure you're following me on social media because that's where I'll post that. But let's go ahead and get started on our final 20-minute sprint for the night for this live stream. All right. I have timer up on the clock, 20 minutes. 3, 2, 1, sprint. Okay. Man, I was really into that scene. I'm gonna have to get back to it. So we started, or I started sprint number 3 at 10,826 words, and I am finishing at 11,216 words. So I did quite well through the night, I would say. How did everybody else do? How are we all feeling? It was our final sprint of the night. So let me just put that in. Finished the stream at 11,216 words. I'm going to add it to the chat so I have my own little note of it. Jen said, haven't added any more words. In fact, deleted about 25. Welcome to editing, right? But I'm now into chapter 13. That's great. Jen said, I had to move to my desk to charge my computer. It was so close to dying on me. I have also gotten there. I remember the first time I did a live stream, I didn't even think about the fact that being live like that would pull from my battery so much. And so I think I had to really hurry and quickly get into a sprint so that I could go grab a charger real fast. Been there. Dreaming Truth Author says I was lurking while coloring pics on my phone. That's something I used to do to help with my anxiety at night. I still struggle with insomnia, but I used to really struggle with it. And so I downloaded a coloring app, and at night before bed, to calm my mind, I would color the different pages in the app, and that would help my mind calm down, and it helped me get to sleep and actually get pretty restful sleep. That was really nice. I haven't done that in a while, mostly because I haven't felt a huge need to. I haven't had that bad of insomnia in a while. I still have insomnia from time to time. There's usually maybe a day or two of it once a month where I struggle a little bit. But now that my schedule's different, I'm on summertime, I'm still working my day job. It's just that the hours are much more set at my own pace. When I want to work, that kind of stuff, it means that it's a little easier to relax after work is done. But that used to help me a lot doing those coloring apps. Lisa M said, I ate part of dinner, caught up on stream, and then did 4 minutes of character design. Ooh, that sounds really fun. Sounds like you got quite a lot done, even though you've done more than all of us. You were coming from the Storyteller's Hearth. You were coming from a live stream. Dreaming True says, exactly, I color daily. My job's super stressful, so I color during work. It definitely helps. That is actually a tip that a lot of therapists use. It helps people to calm down, even if you color during therapy sessions, even the creative outlet, or really just the mindlessness of the activity can help free up space in your brain so that you can actually process emotions or detail them. That is something that a lot of therapists will use, is coloring, especially circles. For some reason, circular things are really helpful. Lisa said, I was just eating, watching dinner, but that is productive if I need to eat. True. We all have to do some things. Coloring while working actually is a good idea. Yeah, it makes for a nice break. That's why I come from a school background. I used to be a teacher before I was a school counselor, but I encouraged my kids to doodle on their homework and stuff. One, because I thought it was really fun to see it, but also my creative students seemed to really get something out of it. They seemed to be more engaged. And so I had kids that actually did better on note taking or remembered what they took notes on that day in class because they remembered they drew a funny SpongeBob figure in the corner or something random. And so there really is something about the mindlessness of doodling like that is a helpful activity, especially for memory. And so that is what I would tell kids to do all the time when we took notes and stuff. I would say, if you've already finished taking notes, draw something in the corner. That always is really helpful. And it's not just a kids thing, that helps with adults too. Lisa said, I used to tutor. I'm also from an education background. Oh, that's very cool. There are a lot of kids who work better when fidgeting. Yes, I am one of those people. If you haven't noticed already, I have this little pin cap. It's from an erasable pin, and it is my fidget of choice. I have them stashed everywhere. There's always one here. I usually sit it on like the hinge of my computer when I'm not using it, but I twist it in my fingers. It helps my mind process things. So fidgeting is a huge thing, and not just for neurodivergent people and kids, for people that don't have like ADHD or any of that stuff even. I do have ADHD, so I know that this is part of that for me, but fidgeting in general, movement, it can help you process through things in your brain. Lisa said, sometimes I need that too. I also have a lot of distraction activities to help me process. Yes, there is something to that. Before we get too far off that tangent, that is actually a subject that I cover in Wednesday's video. Again, if you missed that, I try to do like 3 videos a week on YouTube. We have this live stream every Sunday. I also post a video on Sunday that is the vlog of the week. And then on Wednesday, I post kind of a fun video, usually like a writing related topic, sometimes not. This week, it is all about how I manage my anxiety and ADHD. So this, speaking of, is something that goes into that topic a little bit. Lisa says, sorry, I'm talking too much. You're not talking too much at all. You are welcome. See, Jen says, never too much. Absolutely. We're just happy to have you join us tonight. It's always fun to have somebody new to the live stream. So, it is 10:12. We actually went a little longer than we do sometimes. We're going close to 2 hours, which is, we usually go about 2 hours or so. Jen says, I too need different things to keep me focused, mostly noise, which is the reason why I have both music playing and a YouTube video on right now. And I have a hair tie I play with. A hair tie. That is one I've heard of too, that people keep it around their wrist and it's something that they like fidget with and it's always on them. I like that. Thank you. That's a really good video topic. Thank you. And I agree. Lisa says hair tie is a good idea. I like that idea. I notice that I get a lot of anxious energy at work. And unless I'm at my desk, I don't have one of these pin caps on me all the time. But I came up with a creative solution for that. I ordered a set of chapstick holders. The ones, like they're the pieces of fabric and they have a little slot at the top that you insert the chapstick into. I ordered a bunch of those and I attached one to my keys, to my work lanyard with my ID on it, and I stashed a bunch of these in those. So now I always have one with me at work. That was a good idea on my part. Dreaming True says, thank you for the stream. Jen says it's one of those coily ones. Oh, yeah. One of my students asked if it was a bracelet once. They do look kind of like bracelets. There are some pretty ones out there with like the glitter and stuff in them. All right. I do think that we need to start wrapping up for the night because we did go a little longer than we typically do, but I was having so much fun with you guys. So we are going to, here on YouTube, wind things down. I am still going to be live on TikTok though. So if you're still writing and you're here on YouTube and you'd like to maybe join in a little longer, you can pop over to TikTok. I think I'm going to stick around here for a little longer. I don't know how much longer, but a little bit. We'll see. So you can still come on over to here on TikTok and join us maybe. But happy to have you guys. Lisa says, when do you normally stream? Headphones dead, so if you answer, can you type in the chat? Oh, yes, I can. So I go live on YouTube every Sunday at, I think Jen already answered for me, CST. Yep, Jen already answered. Thank you, Jen. Thanks, Jen. Jen and I are in the same time zone, so I don't know what time zone you are in. And Lisa, in a different time zone. Oh, okay. Well, you'd have to do the math on that. I don't know which time zone exactly you were in, but 8:20 Central Standard Time over here for us, Jen and I. Jen, it always blows my mind. It's such a strange thing that we're in the same time zone because you're so far away from me. I guess you're not that far away, but I mean, it is quite a trek up there being in Canada versus me down here. But yes. So we're going to end our live stream here on YouTube for the night. I will stay live on TikTok though. Thank you guys for joining me. It's been super, super fun. And where am I? Yeah. As always, I will see you guys in the next one.